Hey, I'm gonna do a listing video, how I list items. Sorry, my hair's a mess. It's 5:30 a.m. and the lighting sucks. Like every time I move, it's dark. So I apologize. Usually I'm better at this. Okay, so I went ahead and took my pictures, and I take them on my phone, and then I have, if you can see. Anyway, I have Dropbox on my phone. It's that little thing, it's Dropbox. And I have it on my laptop and I have it on our desktop. So when I take the pictures, I go ahead and I click create, upload photos, and I tap on each photo. I take a lot of pictures. I try to fill up at least between 5 to 12. So depending, like if it's a book, I do front cover, spine, title, front cover, spine, title page, a middle page, and then the back cover. So I do 5 on a book. Next, I'll upload it in my eBay. And sorry. Whoa, that won't work. So anyway, that's what I do. So now my photos are uploading. And I'm going to list this first. And then I'm going to do a second listing. Let me move this. Which is this guy. And he has little speakers with him. So, I normally do not list over here, so I will be right back. I have to grab something. Okay, so sorry. Okay. Now what I do with my Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna okay, first I'll show you this. What I do is I will measure my item. And it is 10. I put measurements of all my items in my description. 10 by 5.5. So since this is 10 by 5.5, I'm gonna put my box is 12 by 12 by 8. 12 by 12 by 8 will be the same price as if it was 4 by 4 by 4 or 8 by 8 by 8 or whatever. So for items that I know will fit in the 12 by 12 by 8 box or smaller, I just put 12 by 12 by 8 because it goes quicker and faster and it's easier for me. So let's go ahead. I'm trying to think of how heavy this is. Alright, anyway. Usually I'm going to turn my camera. My house is a freaking disaster right now because of the auctions. So usually, that's my picture taking area right there. That's where I take pictures. And that's my desktop with my camera and my printer and everything. And that's where I usually sit. But to do this, I don't have a camera on that desktop. So to do this video, I had to do it here. So let me go ahead and screen share while I'm listing. All right, now you should be able to see my eBay screen. So in the search bar, I will type in Genesee beer hatchet tap handle. And I look for comps. Doesn't look like there's anything listed. That's a cute one. So let's look under sold. Okay, instead of hatchet, maybe I'll put axe. AXE. Ah, there we go. Okay, here's one. and it looks like it sold. They had $65.99, but that line going through it may say accepted a best offer. So I'll click on it, and it doesn't tell you what they accepted. However, there is a program. So what I do is I come up here and I highlight this long number right there, because that's the item number. Copy that, open up a new tab, and I have this bookmarked. Actual selling price. Okay, this is called flippertools.com right here. Flippertools.com. They have a lot. Let me click on it and I can show you. Right here, eBay best offer actual selling price. But they have a smart shipping calculator. They have, they just have a bunch of different resources and stuff. But this is the one. And this right here, if it's an electronic item and I take a video of it working, I upload the video on YouTube, and then you click here and it'll put it into a code to where you can use it on eBay. But anyway, let's go to this. And let me paste the item number. You can either do the whole URL or the item number. And it will tell you they declined an offer of $20, then they declined an offer of $55. Must have been people wanted $55 in free shipping, maybe. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Then they accepted a $50 offer. So I know that this sold for $50. And I also know that there's no other ones that have ended or sold. There's no completed. That means they did not, or I mean, there's none listed right now. So, and completed, yep, that's the only one that's ever been listed or completed. So I will click on it again. And I will see what their description says. See your tab handle. So I will highlight this, Genesee Beer tap handle, in great shape with only a few minor dings. Nah. Okay. So I'm going to click sell one like this. And it pops it right in there. Genesee, vintage Genesee Fireman's Axe Beer Tap Handle Tomahawk. And I'm going to check it. And then I'm going to put this in bin. My storage unit is lined with shelves, and each shelf has about two clear Rubbermaid bins, and each bin is labeled. And so I put a label, 045, and that is where I will put this when I get to the storage unit. So when it sells, I know exactly where to go get it. So I will highlight that and copy my title. Make sure you put used or new, whichever it is. Minor dings. See all photos. Okay. And I click photos. And I go to eBay, show all. And there are all my photos. So I will go through. On my desktop, I can just shift and do them all at once, but on this MacBook, I'm still learning. So open them. And while I'm waiting for them to upload, I will come down here and I will paste in my title. Approximately, what did I say? See, I took it already. 10 by 5.5. Not quite 5.5, 5.25. So approximately 10 inches by 5.25 inches. I try to put dimensions of everything because people will ask you. Great shape. Few things which I show this. And then from here, I go to advanced editing. I have custom templates made. Mine is called Harley because it was when I was doing Harley clothes. So I will click that and it pops it right in. Welcome any questions you may have. I also have a lot of new and vintage collectibles, glassware, primitive items, and tools. Check my eBay store. Check out my other item for unique and bargain priced items. I will combine multiple purchases and give you a nice shipping fee discount off total listed shipping fees as long as I can mail all in the same box. I'm going to reword this, it sounds weird. Please view all pictures as they're part of the description. Be sure to add me to your favorites list. Thank you and have a great day. And then I added this. Items will be shipped to the address on file at the time of payment. I cannot change the address. Sometimes people buy something and they'll be like, oh, I forgot to change my address after they paid. I forgot to change my address. It's blah, 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 blah. You can change it. I'll show you where you can change it when you print shipping labels, but you're no longer covered. So if you change it to the address they tell you to, and then they say, well, we never got it, eBay will not cover you. They'll say, well, you didn't ship it to the address on file. So what I do in those cases is I will tell the person, well, we can cancel the transaction and then you could rebuy it with your new address. Make sure you have your new address. When they go to pay with PayPal, it'll have there what address you want to use. So that's what I do. And it's only to safeguard myself because we've been burnt once about that. So I know they sold for $50, but I also know that I am the only one on here that has one right now. So I'm going to put mine at $69.99. And I always click let buyers make offers. And I do 10 days now. I used to do 30 all the time. I love doing 30, but now I'm an anchor store, so I get 10,000 free listings. So now I do 10 days, so I utilize those free listings when I relist. If I had a regular store or no store, I would definitely do 30 days. I have my PayPal, and I always require immediate payment with buy now. So that means if they click buy it now, they have to pay it now. If they make an offer and I accept it, they don't have to pay immediately. But I make them pay right away if they do buy it now. And then if they buy it now and pay right away, and then they buy like say 2 items, what I do is I'll combine the shipping and then I'll just refund them a little bit of the difference, not all the difference, but I do have a combined shipping rule in here too that I set up with eBay. I always do 30-day money back buyer. Chris does a restocking fee. I don't do a restocking fee. It's just personal preference. Okay, now here we go. Calculated shipping. I always do calculated. And for this one, it's going to be parcel. Priority. And FedEx. FedEx ground. I think I'm gonna offer. I don't know. I do a 2-day handling. Business days, I used to do 1, but because all my items are now in my storage unit and not here readily available, I do 2. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go over and I'm gonna actually weigh this guy. So I'll be right back. Okay, he weighs 10 ounces. So I always do a 50-cent handling cost. Chris likes to do $1. I do 50 cents. And it just kind of covers, cushions our shipping a little bit, and covers, uh, bubble wrap, stuff like that. What's I gonna say about that? Oh, because we're top rated, we get a really good shipping discount. So the more you sell, and once you get top rated, you'll see your shipping costs going down a little bit. You still get a discount for using eBay labels, but it'll be a greater discount once you get top rated. So, and once again, like I said, 12 by 28 is my standard, 1 pound. Now, when I wrap this and put it in its packaging, it might only weigh 15 ounces. So I will ship it first class. Sometimes priority is cheaper. They usually always choose parcel select. Sometimes priority is cheaper. So whatever the cheaper rate is what I use. I very rarely ship parcel select, but first class priority media. Obviously, media is only media. So I put a pound, and that's it. List item. And it's listed. Oops. You know what? I forgot. This is one thing I hate when let me click revise. When I go to wait for my pictures to load, and then I do the description, I forget to relook at all my pictures because sometimes I like to edit them. So, like, I like to crop them. Some people don't bother, but I like to. Like, I hate that glare. And that didn't matter. Okay, cancel. All right. So let's see. Sorry, this is a long video, but this is how I list. Well, I usually list a little bit quicker from not taking videos, but you know. So I show the chip there. I show the chip there. Show the chip there. Those two paint chips, which actually, let me get a closer. There we go. In there. So I just want to make sure I show everything. So that's all done. So let me update. Okay, so that's done. Click I'm done. And I'm done. My next thing is this JBL creature. There's quite a few on. This one says untested for parts. Mine's been tested and it works. So I look and see what people have them listed for. Not because I'm going to use that price, but because seeing what my competition is. Okay, there's a white one that sold for 40. $49, 45. Now, if you notice, the buy it now is getting more than the auction style. And that is usually, look at this. Look. That's usually what happens. That is usually definitely what happens. Yeah. All right, so I figured out what I'm going to do. So sell one like this. Or actually, let me click it first. See what they have for a description. Nothing. All right. Sell one like this. Silver. Male creature computer speakers and subwoofer. Equipment satellite speakers. I don't know what box I'm going to put these in, so I'm not going to put a box number. They're used. Good. If I can type. Now let me add a photo. These are all photos of that guy. And over. So these. Oops, I forgot to copy my title. I do not put a ton of stuff in my description. My pictures are more or less my description. If there's certain things. Paste. Work well. Looks good. So let's fix the pictures. I list a lot faster than Chris, but that's because I do it all day, every day. So I usually can list like 5 items to his 2 or 1 sometimes. Okay, there we go. There's all my pictures. Come down here. I'm going to start this at 49.99. No, I'm going to start it at 54. Don't ask me why I do the 99 cents. I don't know. I've always done it. Best offer. PayPal information. Parcel priority FedEx. Okay, now let me go ahead and weigh these. All right. So it weighs 9 pounds, or 8 pounds 5 ounces, which is 9 pounds. So I'm gonna say it weighs 11, only because I want to safeguard myself for boxing and stuff. The size, let's see, it's gonna be 12 by 12 by 12. Only because I have it in a 9 by 9 by 9 box right now without any cushioning. So 12 by 12 by 12 will be good. Let's see. So all that's done. And list item. That's it. That's all I do. Research, looking up comps is what takes a little bit longer. Go ahead and let me do this for you real quick. I'm done now. Let me get on my eBay and pick an item that sold recently. And has paid. Let's see. All right, well, let's do this one. So it's an estate vintage railroad train light lantern. I sold for $53.95 with shipping. They paid $75.47. The print shipping label. I don't have it packed up yet, but kind of give you the gist. And this is the screen you get. Right here is where you could change their address if you wanted to. Right here is where you can change your address if you wanted to. Like if I'm shipping FedEx, I have to change this to my home address right there. So, but no, for the most part, I do PO Box only because I don't want people knowing where I live. So I do have a PO Box at our local, very teeny tiny small post office, which I'm really good friends with the postmaster. Her and I are do things together like wine walks. But anyway, she has a very small post office, so she's really happy to get the business. And so then, say I get it all packaged up. Now I will click change weight and dimensions. And I get it all packaged. I weigh it, and say the box weighs, I don't know, 6 pounds instead of 5 pounds. And say it's a 12 by 12 by 8 box instead of 12 by 12 by 12. But right now the prices are $20.40 for priority, $21.02 for parcel. This is why I say always usually click priority, because priority is usually going to be cheaper. So I click calculate, and because the weight is higher, it brought it up. So I will click save. So you see it's $23.35 to ship that railroad light priority. They paid $21.52. So I'll click save. Usually I don't worry about a couple bucks, especially if it's a high ticket item. But I see it's going to California. So change this to my street address. And let me go to FedEx. And you click here, click home delivery. And it's $16.61. So I will ship this FedEx. You got to make sure this is checked if it's a residence. Sometimes what I'll do is if it's unchecked, I will highlight this address and I'll put it in Google. And if it's a business, then it will go for the business rate, which would probably be like $13. So $16.61. So this will definitely go FedEx. So I create the label, which I can't do right now because I don't have the right weight and stuff in. I'll create the label and I will print it and I'll put it on the package. And then Chris passes a FedEx location on his way home from work off of 531. So he takes all the FedEx with him to work, and then he stops on his way home from work and drops it all off. So that's what will happen there. That was a good example to show you about FedEx. To me, it's easy. And you can look up and see like what FedEx drop-off locations you have around your area, and you could just drop them off. They're already pre-labeled. um, you don't pay for FedEx labels now, though. Like parcel, priority, USPS labels, when you click pay for label or whatever it is, let's see, what would it be? When I click create label for my FedEx, I don't get charged until it actually gets delivered, and then they charge your eBay account that price. But for like USPS, you click purchase postage and they charge your PayPal account. So that's one difference. Let's see. When you go to my eBay, I think you get the same screen I get. I'll tell you like how many labels you have to print, how many have to ship in within the next 24 hours. That's really important to get your shipping done when it says. Like if I click this, it'll tell me what date I have to ship by. Like I have to ship by the 25th, the 26th. These are all the 24th. Because it's very important for your top rated. So it'll tell you current levels top rated. This will tell you I have an anchor store. I've used 9,255 listings. I have 745 left, which I will use up this week. This right here is your account summary. It'll tell you how much you've paid eBay so far for this month, how much is due as of 24th, which the reason why that's negative is because you pay. It hasn't been invoiced yet. This is what hasn't been invoiced yet. But out of that, I've already paid $850. What I do is I'll look at my current balance, and once I get a balance, I'll click my account summary. I don't touch anything in my PayPal account. Nothing. What we sell in April, and then I click go to my account, and I click make a one-time payment, and I will put in how much you owe them, and I do a little bit more because I'm going to use it up anyway. But you can just pay what you owe. And use your PayPal account. Continue. And it tells me I paid eBay $400. What we do is the first of the month. So April 1st, I made sure my eBay balance was completely paid. All my shipping labels were printed that had been paid. Everything is done. So whatever's left in the PayPal account is ours. So on the first or second of the month, I will take that big amount out. Like say it's $5,000, I'll take $5,000 out. And then I have a list that I write down everything that has been paid for auctions. So I have a Bridget column and a Chris column. Let me get off my screen share. Okay, so I have two columns, a Bridget column and a Chris column. And under each, I write everything we paid for. Like Bernie's auction on this date, Bernie's auction on this date. That Chris usually pays. I don't know. What do I put? Storage fees. I pay for all the groceries. I pay for everything, even household stuff. It goes in. Excuse me, in these two columns. I add them up, and then I add those two totals together, divided by 2, and that's what each of us. So sometimes, I'm like, oh, I owe Chris $400 this month. He paid $400 more than I did. So then what we do is we take, say, $5,000. We took out a PayPal, 2,500, 2,500, and then I subtract, say, like I owe him 400. I'll subtract that, put it on his. So now I get 2,100. He gets 2,900. Um, if that makes sense. That's just how we do things. We're not married. Um, we never will be. We're business partners, so that's kind of how we do it, I guess. We live in the same house, so obviously household expenses get split. I don't know. Everybody thinks it's kind of weird how we do things, but that's how he wanted to do things. Anyway, getting out of that. So yeah, that's pretty much how I list. That's how I ship. Um, that's how I split everything. I'm trying to think. I do this all day, every day, for the past 6 years. 6 years. Um, and then when Chris comes home from work, he'll list a few things, and he does a lot of the big packaging, like the fishing poles or big things that he sells. He does those. He'll pack those for me. Because it hurts my wrist to bend the boxes and stuff in. I don't know. I have issues with my arms and hands, so it's easier for him to do that. But that's it. I hope it was helpful. If you obviously any questions, please, please, please text me. You know my number. I set up this video so only you and I can see it, nobody else. So yeah. All right. Bye. Have a great day.